Welcome to Lorelle's WordPress School. In this video, I'm going to talk about WordPress structure and content organization, specifically WordPress pages and posts. WordPress pages and posts, tags and categories, these are really complicated for a lot of people to understand, so I want to boil this down and keep it really simple. And I think of all of these elements as part of the WordPress puzzle. We have all these puzzle pieces and we need to put them together and understand what are pages, what are posts, where do they go, categories, tags. And when you're working with a puzzle, it helps if you find the right pieces and you put the right pieces in the right places to make a really good overall picture, and there's no holes. So when we're talking about site and content organization in WordPress, think of these as all the little pieces of the puzzle. You're going to put them together and make something beautiful. WordPress pages and posts. There's many ways to explain them, but this is what I've come up with over the years, and it really works. Think of posts as holding timely content. Pages hold timeless content. Let's go into this and explain it better. So posts hold timely content. All of your content that you publish on the web is timeless, thanks to Google and Yahoo and to archive.org's Wayback Machine. Once you publish it, it's out there forever. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the chronological order, specifically the reverse chronological order, that WordPress displays post content. That's where the time aspect comes in. So posts are displayed in reverse chronological order, which means what's new is at the top. In the old days when we had static websites, we actually had a page called What's New, and we would put descriptions and links to our new content, and people would have to go there to find out what was new on our site. Well, that's boring and frustrating, and you have to drive people to your What's New page so they know that you've actually done something on your site. With a dynamic content generator of WordPress, what's new is at the top. You don't need a What's New page. You don't have to drive people to find out what's new and explain it to everyone. It's just sitting right there. Their posts are also grouped by categories and tags, which we'll go into more in the next section. Posts are timely content. Pages hold timeless content. Pages are not presented by date. They are not in any form of chronological order, reverse or otherwise. They're just there. Pages may be presented in any order. It doesn't matter. It does matter, but it really doesn't matter. Posts often hold the most critical and reference content. Are you starting to see the difference a little bit between the concept of timely and timeless existing outside of the chronological order? Posts tend to be articles, news and announcements, tutorials, events, journals, commentary. They're your techniques, all of the different things that you publish that you want people to read on your site. That's the interactive content. Think of these as your news and articles. Posts are news and articles. Posts are grouped by categories and tags, and categories may have subcategories and subcategories. Now, posts cannot have a sub-post, but they can have categories which can have subcategories. So they're organized by categories and tags. Pages, the timeless content, are about, contact, policies, calendar, classes, support, fact. Are you seeing some consistency here in the names? Yeah, these are the really important pages that need to not flow out of the reverse chronological order found on the front page of the site. They need to stay kind of static. They're referred to as the pseudo-static or static pages of your site. If it helps, think of these as reference material. Pages are automatically added to primary or main menus by default on most WordPress themes. Subpages become part of that drop-down menu. There's many ways of customizing this. We'll get into that much later. But posts aren't added to that main navigation. They show up in the post content area. Now, what happens with the word pages in WordPress, and there's so many things that are wrong with that name, is first of all the naming confusion. When people see the word pages, they think book pages. I want my site to have many web pages. Therefore, I choose to add my content as a page. You can just see from this menu, that's a serious mistake, because this poor organization of pages and the automatic addition of pages to the main navigation makes for a nightmare. This person came to me and said, okay, my whole site is screwed up. I've got this big, huge block of black that's sitting here that I don't know what to do with. It's got all of my articles and everything are up there, and I don't know how to organize this. I took one look and realized that this person was using pages, as in pages of a book, thinking that that was what their content needed to be on. So we had to convert most of these to posts and then deal with trying to creating the categories around them and leave him with the key things that he needs to have on that main navigation menu, which we will talk about later in the course. So here's a basic rundown in the difference between a page and a post. Posts are reverse chronological content. Pages can have any order. Pages are timeless. Posts are timely. Again, that chronological aspect. Posts highlight what's new, the latest news, the announcements, tutorials, techniques, your articles. Pages hold the most important information to your site's mission, your site's goals, like your about page, your schedule, your events, links, resources, etc. Let's break this down into the structure of the two elements in WordPress content organization. We have the pages. Pages can have subpages. You may wish to put all your policies on one page or break them down into individual pages underneath your main policies page so that you have room to put all the information in that you want and make it easy to find. Your main content is posts. Posts are your articles, and posts are grouped by categories, and categories can have subcategories. And they're also grouped by tags. We'll spend more time on this in the next exercise, but you are looking at the overall structure of a basic WordPress site using pages and posts that are then grouped by categories and tags. Your first assignment that's going to be coming this weekend is to edit the About page. This comes by default installed and published on most WordPress sites. Here's the basic instructions, then we're going to go through it step by step. So you're going to go to the administration screens. WP admin or dashboard is the access point. You're going to go to pages, all pages. You're going to find the About page, and I want you to hover over it with a mouse, and it brings up a menu. You're going to edit it, and then you're going to change it to your bio with a description of the purpose of your site. Now let's look at this. When I'm giving instructions, I will start with the first word that's usually found on the left navigation bar for the WordPress interface. Now there's many names for all of this that I'll be going through in the articles that I'm posting as part of the WordPress school. And the interface is changing again. There's a lot of pushback from the new design, and so I'm sticking with the classic interface layout for right now. And what is most important is even if they change it, the basic fundamentals are still there. So the sequence of how you get to things are pretty close, and the names of things will pretty much stay the same. So just hang with me while they're changing things. So you're going to go to pages, all pages, and that's when you click. You hover over pages, you click on all pages, and that will take you to the pages panel, or screen, that will give you a list of all your pages. When you hover over the page you're interested in, specifically About, This triggers an Ajax pop-up menu that comes up right on the screen, and you want to click Edit. This is what you probably will find on a brand new site. It has an About title, and then you have this text that says, this is an example of a WordPress page. You could edit this to put information about yourself and your site so readers know where you're coming from, blah, 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 blah. Now, one of the most important lessons that I hope you get out of this for the whole year-long WordPress school is attention to details matter. It is amazing how many people do not change this page. They just create a new one and go plowing forward. So I did a search. The numbers change from time to time, but I did a search a while ago, and over 73 million sites on the web hadn't changed the text in the About page. What caught my interest was the official site of Joe DiMaggio. Oops. So I used this example for many years because it just blew my mind that here is this wonderful site, and the designer, not only did they work on this page, look what they did. This is an example of a WordPress page. You could edit it, put in information. This is an example of a WordPress page. You could edit this to put in information about yourself and your site. They took that one default paragraph and they copied and pasted all the way down and added a picture and designed the whole picture, put that in to make it work, and then forgot about the page. They forgot about it. They changed it to the man, but About was still active. It wasn't visible in the navigation, but the page still existed and it was still indexed by search engines. So I'm showing this for a while, and then one day I'm giving a presentation at a WordCamp for several hundred people. I think it was Phoenix, I don't remember. And I'm showing this when I'm talking about content structure and organization in WordPress, and in the back of the room, I heard a little gasp that came right up over the crowd, and everybody looked, and I couldn't tell who it was. But the next morning, this was gone. But it sat there for quite a while. You need to pay attention to the details because the details will bite you in the butt. Trust me. For anyone who has spent hours and hours, days, even weeks, to find out that it is a semicolon or a quote mark or an apostrophe that broke your code, you understand with me that details matter. So here's a basic structure of the About screen. It has a page title. Sorry, not About page. For the Edit page screen, this is your About page. This is the page title. Down in the white box underneath is the page content, formerly known as the text area. That's a part of a form. We've called it the text area for many, many years. So you will still find tutorials that refer to this as the post or page text area. Across the top is a toolbar, and it has many names. Right now it's being called the toolbar. In the beginning of WordPress, it was called the quick tag bar or the quick tags. It is controlled by a third-party app called TinyMCE. So many developers, many technical articles will refer to this bar as the TinyMCE. Basically, it's the toolbar. It looks just like a toolbar that you would use in any word processor, so it's not very complicated. There's some details we'll go into later, but this is referred to as the toolbar, but you need to know the names that it has been known on in the past. This is one of the modularized sections on the panel. Specifically, this is the Edit page panel, and it's called Publish. You'll find the same one on the Post panel or Post screen. You'll see it says Status, Visibility, the publishing date that you can change, and Update. It says Update because this is already published. Check the status. It says it's published. So this is live on your site when you install WordPress, and you need to edit and change it. And when you change it, you hit Update, and it will update. You can go look, check it out, go forward. Now we're working here in the visual editor. So I've added some content here with some links as an example. And there are two editors that we'll go into detail later. One's called the visual editor and the HTML editor, or the text editor as it's known now. Many people call this the WYSIWYG editor. I don't. I call it the WYSIMIG, because what you see is what you might get, not what you will get. This is what the front of the site, this is what the theme did to the content. Do you notice the difference? In the visual editor, it's using a serif font. The theme is using a sans serif font. Now, WordPress has worked very hard to remove this, but I still see it happening every once in a while where it does look enough different. So you always need to preview your posts. Always preview your posts so that you can look and make sure that they look right, because the visual editor is sometimes not quite showing you what you think you may be seeing. So your assignment this weekend is to edit the About page and write your bio. Now, I have a lot of articles that are linked to in the class notes, but basically you need to explain, what are you doing on the site? Who are you? Most of all, you need to answer the question, what gives you the right to tell me? When people come to the About page, it's amazing. The reason they're checking it out is they want to know who you are and what gives you the right to tell them about whatever it is that you're talking about. They want to know who you are and how you got to this point, so they can know whether or not to trust you and what you have to say. So it's very important to word this in a way that makes you be trusted. Seriously, folks, this may be your last chance to brag and toot your horn and tell the world how great you are. Use it. Do not hold back on your About page. Hold back on the rest of your site. Do not hold back here. Make sure you answer that question, what gives you the right to tell me? You're going to include links to your sites or related sites, whatever you want. You'll be putting in some pictures, examples of your work, whatever. We'll work on all those details, but I want you to just plunge in this weekend after you've created your test site and put in that bio and see how far you can get. So again, pages and posts. Pages are timeless content. Posts are timely. Here's a quick breakdown. All the technical things that you need to know. Posts are presented in reverse chronological order. Pages are not. Posts are date-specific, timely. Pages are not. Posts are grouped by categories and tags. Pages are not. But pages are automatically, by default, put on the primary navigation. Posts are not. There's a hierarchy to pages, but not posts. Yes, you can have subcategories. You cannot have sub-posts. Posts are picked up by the syndication in the feeds, subscription notification, and updates to social media if you've integrated the site with your social media accounts. Pages are not. Comments can be had on both, but honestly, do you really need somebody to comment on your privacy policy? No. Do you need them to comment on your copyright policy? No. So you can turn comments off on both, but I do recommend that you turn them off on most pages, if not all of them. Pages can have custom templates. They're called custom page templates or page templates in WordPress. Posts can't, but posts have post formats. Kind of the same, kind of not. And we're going to look at page views in detail later, but posts are featured on multiple post page views. By default, you cannot put more than one page on a page or on a post. So that is the basic summary. There is a copy of this in the class notes that you can print out to help you understand the difference. And hopefully by now you have a little bit more of a control and an understanding of what content is what. And when we're done working on categories and tags, there'll be a quiz to actually really test your knowledge on which one is which. Again, pages hold important timeless content critical to the success of your site. Posts hold timely content, articles and news that keep your site active and interactive. Remember, posts are grouped by categories and tags. I call these the micro-navigation elements of a WordPress site. So, are you ready? I want you to go through the assignments that you have on figuring out what content's what. Keep in mind the difference between a page and a post. And I will see you on lorelle.wordpress.com.